Hi everyone, welcome. I'm doing a collective message. I thought I'd pop on and read for you guys. I have been a little bit MIA, but that's fine. I think I needed a little step back. I hope you're doing really well. And first card is out, so let's just jump in. I've actually pulled the Six of Cups for you. So, as a beautiful sweetness floating in the air for you, I sense you to be like really excited about something. You know, like kids would get excited about something they know they're gonna do that they love. So I can't wait to see what that is. I have in front of me the Two of Swords in the reverse, the Hanged Man. I have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse and the Wheel of Fortune. So there's been like a pause. There's been anticipation growing. There could still be a lot of this going on precisely at this moment, but very, very soon things are about to catapult into a different energy. It feels like the excitement is around something that you are starting, a particular endeavor that feels not that it would be your first go, like first time doing this, but you're also maybe not very, you're not a veteran at it either, you know? I think that part of the excitement that you feel is, a little bit of it is, oh, I can't wait because I really want to do this. And another part is, okay, this is terrifying because, you know, I'm not sure of all the steps and I'm not sure that I can actually pull it off, at least in the way that you have it in mind. So I don't think that that's the case, that you wouldn't be able to pull it off. I just think that that's how you approach it, right? So part of the excitement is a little bit slight apprehension or a little bit of okay, I need to make sure I tackle everything, that I don't forget anything. Or so there's a lot of thought put into what you're about to do because you know it's life-changing. You know that it's something pivotal, major, and that has the same kind of excitement that you're looking for, but it's tenfold. So because once you get on that wheel, there's no stopping it. So you are taking the time before to sort of gather yourself up in many ways. It could be just energetically speaking, it could be gathering your thoughts, but I mostly think that you are in preparation mode. I'm going to switch decks. I'm in the mood to draw out of a different deck. It also feels like you feel decisive, and yet you still feel like there's still other decisions to be made. I think you've made the big decision of doing this particular endeavor that I have the words jumping into it. I'm questioning the choice of words here, although they just came to me, but what I'm questioning is that it doesn't feel like something that you've done blindly. On the contrary, right? So it doesn't feel like the jump is out of impatience or out of rushing things and cutting corners. It's not that kind of jump. It's a deliberate action, decision on your part, well thought out, well felt. You know, like you've actually probed and actually gotten the downloads, and I think you've opened yourself up in every way possible to align yourself with what you were about to take on, initiate. That is so important for you. Let me pull now. Let's see what comes up. Unless I have to really go get the cards, but I don't think so. The wheel, the Two of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune, they're both upright. There's a lot of back and forth. I don't think it's about decision making. I think it's about it feels okay, it's not really communication. This is not a card of communication, but it does feel a little bit like ping pong. So it feels that there's actually an exchange and there's actually energy and something else being exchanged. I do believe there's a part of it that's communication, just like verbal communication. So for some reason it comes through as what's being set in motion, what's being put in place, and the communication and everything, the ups and downs of that preparation. You know, like I say ups and downs because it's a little bit like, okay, you've got some of the stuff is done, and then on the other side of the list, let's say there are still things that haven't been tackled or done or have not yet been maybe even considered yet. And it feels like there's a little bit of a part of it is still unknown. I think there are like variables here that, as much as you are trying to think about every aspect of what you need for this, I don't know, logistical setup or it feels there's still a lot of things that are being discussed. And the back and forth feels like, you know, when people give you their feedback and you're building on that and you're able to actually process further, right? And you're juggling with it in your mind about, okay, so we have this equation, how do we approach this, or how do we solve this, how do we get it done, something like that. But for you to have the wheel twice, first of all, I'm getting chills. It's super important. It's so pivotal. it is so exciting. It really feels, first of all, there's also a build up to this. At least that's how I'm sensing it to be. And it's the excitement that I've been picking up. It's like kids getting on the big wheel, right? In a fair, like people, sorry, my hair is like tickling me. So it's like kids getting ready to get on like a ride at a fair. That's what it feels like. Okay, what else? Okay, Ten of Swords showed up. Why is that? Ten of Wands. I actually enjoy this energy because here we're looking at someone putting in a lot of work. Someone, this ending here doesn't feel like you're ending something as in one thing. It feels like you're actually going through your checklist and you're going done, done, done. It does feel cumbersome. It does feel like you have a really, really long list of things that you need to think about. There's a lot of details. It also feels, I have the word crucifying in the sense that it's exhausting. It could be mentally exhausting. It's also, you know, you have to go through with it in the sense that now that you've initiated it, you can't turn back kind of thing. So it's like you have to get it done. So I just want to point out that we have 2 tens, and when you think about it, the Wheel of Fortune is 2 tens, okay? So it's really interesting to me because, well, first of all, it's like a mirror image, or let's just say there's some form of resonance. And it feels appropriate because, okay, well, first of all, it gives me a vibe of like the World card, but it's, you know, for the wheel to turn, it's like there's a top and there's a bottom, right? So something needs to end, and the ending is what every chore or everything that you actually are doing to have the wheel keep turning. The wheel is always going to go up and down, but it's like it's one cycle, right? So you're always going to have a mini impression of mini endings. And it feels like a very well-oiled machine, actually. So it's actually extremely positive. I'm not saying this as, oh, you're having a down and it's obviously up and down, but it's not like a down that you're not able to, where you wouldn't be able to feel like you're achieving anything. It's not of that sort. It's not the feeling I'm trying to describe here. It's just like how the pieces come together, and how to get things moving, you have to have things that are completed and that you're actually removing off your plate. So let me get back to this. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna use an oracle. This one I'm gonna have to pull. The cards don't readily sort of come out by themselves. Courage. it requires courage to go through the effort that you're putting in, right? And I don't necessarily mean like the blood, tears, and sweat. I mean like, you know, when you say doing something in one effort. So first of all, whatever you're doing comes from your heart, comes from your being a lion here, comes from your inner child, because Leo is the fifth house, the fifth sign. So for me, the fifth house, natural fifth house of the zodiac. And so it points to doing things that are creative, that are the expression of who you are at your core. So first of all, it feels like very creative, and I think that's what excites you. I think it comes from the deepest part of you, really. And it's summoning all of I just heard the word harp, and so now I'm thinking of when you play harp, and it's like the sound that it makes, right? It's like touching the strings. So it's like pulling on every string of you, and it's what's coming out is this beautiful melody, because you are doing something that is coming from every fiber of your being. So it has its own music, if that makes sense. I'm getting chills, I love it. Because it feels, well, first of all, it's beautiful that you would do that. And I think it's even more beautiful that you're putting in, that you're having to pull this courage, right? Like, why do I say pull? Because it comes from the very deepest part of you. So it's requiring like for you to like go to dig deep. So you need to pull it out as much as you need to pull it off. I'm drawing out of Kipper. I'm curious. Change. I'm getting so many goosebumps. It's crazy because the Wheel of Fortune is the epitome of change. You could be driving somewhere, you could be traveling. Number 9, maybe the October 9th is important, maybe not. But changes, change is drastic here in the sense of not negative, just it's the impression of the 180-degree feeling, something that you know, I don't know, I'm hearing that you won't recognize yourself in a good way again. I have a series of decks and I'm wondering which one to use. I'm gonna go with a keyword, one that I wrote. So a makeshift deck. I feel I need to pull it. Transparent. So the guidance on this card, because for me it points to being very opened, to the point of being transparent, an open book. It's a great ally to have with courage, or courage is the ally for you to be able to become transparent. Trying to feel out what else wants to come up on this word. I'm hearing that people are seeing right through you. And they're seeing your good intentions. So it feels like they can see the beauty, the inherent beauty of innocence. I'm emotional. Crazy. I love it. I don't even know why I'm emotional. I think it's because I can't even speak. I think it's because it's so transparent that I'm feeling like you can see through me. And and it's like kind of difficult, and yet it's not difficult to be vulnerable. Like right now, like I'm having difficulty, like I'm not really wanting to repress myself or like, you know, stop the tears, but I have to go through what came up, right? And it's like, it felt hard and easy at the same time. So take it as you will, but it's part of the message. That's what it feels like. My makeup. Okay. Whatever that was. Oh, tarot, what tarot does. I'm gonna pull a Doreen Virtue card for you. I'm gonna go get it too. Flirt. So you might be in a position where you can flirt with someone, with somebody, with someone. You know, there are like no cups and there are like no love cards in the previous cards that have fallen, that are laid on the table. But obviously Doreen Virtue's angel, romance angels are only about love. So I enjoy that it's flirt because you're still in the seduction phase and things are still budding, and there's something very, again, beautiful and innocent about, and very fresh about the initial moments, like exchanging flowers, a smile, a wink, that kind of energy, right? It's gorgeous. I'm going to stop the reading there because I kind of don't want the energy to change. Oh, I know. I'm going to pull one more card. I am going to draw an angel for you. I would like you to have... See which angel is or could be present. What kind of energy? I mean, there's a keyword on these cards, so it's going to point to something in particular, but we'll see. This one. It speaks of letting go. So what it feels like is it feels like enjoying the ride. It feels, and you know, letting go as in surrendering. That's the nuance. It's surrendering to change, because it is so important. It is so pivotal that it requires for you to absolutely let go. But it's, I don't know if, I don't want to start putting words like letting go of control, and it kind of implies all of that. Surrendering does, at least. But if there's anything that you are holding on to, like whatever that is, right? It could be, since you have courage on the table, maybe you were a little bit scared about something. Maybe flirting is intimidating to you. Maybe having all of this work and all of these things that you know you need to complete. And how, no matter how exhausting that is, you kind of have to go with it, you know? It takes a lot of surrendering to welcome whatever decides to show up for you when you actually are not in a position that where you can't do anything, but just you just are in the moment. You are where you are physically. I hope that was clear enough. I don't know if I should add anything. I'm trying to feel it out. Okay, I'm looking at the Page of Pentacles because the card is in the reverse. Whatever you're starting, there's kind of a veil, right? Because it's something you want to do, but we had the feeling of apprehension there. So it feels like a veil that like you kind of have to like push through a little bit, like, you know, I don't know, like the bird inside of the egg that wants to come out. Like you have to push through. I think I mentioned that as well on another card, but it's the energy, right? So it's a form of resistance. I think that's what it is. So the surrendering is important because it is required. But there's a little bit of pushing through the resistance, and as much as it's pushing through, it doesn't feel like it needs to be how can I say, like an outward motion of, let's say, piercing through the veil. It almost feels like as you surrender, the veil dissolves, or the curtain falls, or whatever that resistance is, disappears, vanishes. I think in your heart of hearts, you know this. And I actually think that you can see it. I think that you can see that. I'm getting goosebumps because as much as you see it, you still have to go and do it. And I think that all of these two wheels and the car, right? It's funny because now the car has 4 wheels. It makes me laugh because I just thought in my head quickly that it's like, how many changes are you gonna have? Like, it sounds like 4. And it could be like, because it's north, south, east, west. There's all kinds of thoughts that are crossing my mind about traveling, about direction, about where you want to go. But anyway, back to the action of it. It's one step at a time, I guess, is the only thing I can add now. Yeah, just one step at a time. Because everything is so positive here, albeit maybe the hard work that you might want to like circumvent, but you can't. But I think you're okay with that. So I see it as you being, you know, like, how do you say, like, when you turn your sleeves because you're getting ready to get your hands dirty. So you know that it requires your input. So I think I'm hearing willpower, right? I think you have the willpower to back it up. You won't shy away from it, no matter what the resistance is or the apprehension. Anyways, enough said. Enjoy your night. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.